Today is Thursday, August 28th, I believe. It's been a while since I've, touched this bike. Mostly because this is completely seized up. Um, what I intend to do today, I think, is try to take the cylinder off, take the head off, and see if I can get it apart. If I can, maybe I'll continue moving forward with it and see what I can do using these parts. Maybe I need to send them out and get them refurbished. I don't know. Maybe I can find something online. These bikes are not exactly, a gold mine. They're really cool. I do want to get this running because I want to ride it around the yard and, a little 350. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Maybe my kids could jump on it. My daughter would have some fun on it around the yard, but fully restored, this bike maybe a couple $1,000s. I saw one online the other day that would look like it was in original condition for $900. It didn't have a title. I would imagine if it had a title, it'd probably be worth about $1,000, and even that's probably a little high. So, for the sake of saving money, I'm probably not going to do much. But let's just take this head off, take the cylinder off. We'll see what we're working with. Who knows? Maybe it's not so bad. It looks pretty bad, but let's take it apart and see. Well, it's not so hard to turn. Well, there's the valve cover. Let me go grab a light. Be right back. So that actually doesn't look so bad. That's kind of pretty. Let's see. How do I get these heads off? Okay, so the head bolts are 6, 7, and 8. These have to come out. There's 4 of them. Now, here's the problem. Over here on the bike, you can see we got one here, we got one under here. Now, these should be easy to get to on this side. But these two look like they might be a little difficult. Well, that was a lot easier than I thought it would be. All right. All right. All right, get these out of here so I don't lose them. They'll probably disappear on me. All right, now. disconnect this line. We deal with here 14. All right. I'm going to take these off on both sides so I can drop this whole manifold, and that'll free up everything. There's nothing else attached besides that. Okay, well, my battery died in my GoPro, so I got my other GoPro here, which only has about 37% battery, so let's make this quick. I don't know where I lost you, but I took off the rockers, disconnected the manifold, pulled these bolts out, and here you can kind of see we have daylight going through there, which is good. So I'm just wiggling this head off here, and hopefully that should be easy enough to do before the battery completely craps out on me. So let's see what we do here. Okay. Now, this is not to pry, but this isn't moving without the pry bar. So I'm just going to go on this cylinder here and wiggle this out until it frees up. There we go. Ooh. All right. Let's take a look at what we got. There's that cylinder head. Let me get some light over here. You can see that's in pretty gnarly condition there. And of course we're looking at the cylinder itself. You know, that's pretty tough. I don't know if I can get this off. Who knows? Maybe that's fixable. It sure doesn't look like it, but we'll keep moving ahead. Well, I still got some battery left. Let's see if we can take this off. Yeah, it's going with the piston's going with it. All right. Now that doesn't look so bad down there. So we're taking the piston with it. That's actually a good sign, because that means the transmission's not seized up. Because we're able to, because we're able to actually move stuff. So the question is, how do I bang that through? So that's what we're dealing with. That's a complete, utter mess in there. Let's see if I can get some good light. There you go. And that's fully seized. Now, is it possible to get out of there? Sure. I might need, actually, if I can't get the cylinder out, I might need to actually take the transmission out, pull the covers, get into where the connecting rod connects in there, and well, I guess there's no way I'm going to do that. It would be nice to be able to get to the cylinder, to the actual pins, the wrist pin, But even with this all the way out, there's still this much of the piston showing. And here, let me pull that back out. We'll just do what the manual says not to do here. Okay, so as you see, that's as far as I can go. So I guess the wrist pin is up in here, so I'm not able to reach it. And that's kind of bad, because if I can't get that piston off, that means I have to bang it out in place, and I could break this really easily. This. Is that fixable? I mean, why not, right? If I get that piston out of there, I could take this cylinder, I can have that reworked. Looks like there's a lot of meat on the sleeve there. Maybe I can get another piston for it. A couple $100, I think, is all that's going to cost. Of course, yeah, a couple $100 is about 4 months of waiting for the guy to do it. But hopefully, the winter coming, maybe I can get him to do, before the summer. Otherwise, I don't really see an issue. The fact that this is moving back and forth tells me that things are moving in here. If things are moving in here, then that's one huge thing I don't have to worry about. So now I'm feeling a little bit better about actually getting this thing running. So, all right, till next time. Okay, now, how do I get this cylinder out of here? The piston. Here's what I did. I made this jig. I had this piece and this here, this piece under here, but it wasn't long enough, so I drilled this piece here just to kind of hold everything. You can see what this should do is, as I turn this, this should push this down. Now, since it's pushing it in, it's going to push this whole cylinder with it, because it's not really connected. So I have these two sockets I put on either end here to kind of hold that back. And with any luck, this should push the piston through, or at the very least put a hole in the piston. So I think what I'm going to do is this piece here, let me take this. No, I made a mistake. I should have put a piece of steel down in here instead of the tip of this. Let's pull this piece out and I'll show you. So see here, that I'm probably going to have something flat on the end. I might have something in the toolbox. Alright, be back. Alright, I found this piece. This was from a steering wheel remover. It doesn't actually fit here, but as long as that's pushing, it should be okay. Let me put this back together, and we'll see if it works. Okay, let's try this. I got this piece in here to help distribute the weight across the piston. This way we don't just push straight through the piston. I mean, if we did, we could chisel it out. It may come to that. But in any case, these studs are mounted on the engine block, which means that as I tighten this to push the piston through, it's going to push everything. So I come over here, put a couple of these here just to hold it. So when it comes back, gives it a standoff. That'll give me something to push the piston in. So the idea is, as I turn this, that should come in, pushing the piston through. And since this won't move anymore, it hopefully won't break the piston. Hopefully it'll just free it up and push it through. So this is going to be tough. It's a 5/8. It's pretty tight on here now. So let's give it a try. See how it goes. All right, moment of truth. And take this apart Yeah, all we did was drill a hole right through the piston top. So I'm going to have to come up with another idea, but I think at this point I might just chisel that out, because that's crazy. Look at it, pushed right through. And I need to find some stronger metal. Let's see how that'll do. So that didn't do anything except try to make that hole bigger. Let's see if I can think of something else. Okay, so I found these. This should fit right in here nicely. This should give it some more surface area, and hopefully that'll be enough. I don't know if I could put a bigger one on here, and hopefully that'll be enough. All right, let's put that back together and give it a try. Yeah, didn't do much, did it? All right. Looks like I might be chiseling that out of there. So at this point, I think I don't really have much choice but to take the motor out of the frame. There's a couple ways to get this piston, or to get the head detached so I can pop the piston out. I can cut through the connecting rod. Then, you know, I can take this apart and get everything I need. But this case requires a special tool in order to split the cases. They're press fit. I don't have that tool, which means I have to buy another tool. I really don't want to take this apart. I don't think there's any issues with it. So what I think I can do is, there's enough room in here, possibly, that I can take the motor out, set it up, turn it 90 degrees, with this facing straight up. I can put some rust remover in there. Hopefully it'll eat away some of that rust. Maybe it'll seep down in there. Or, well, I'll probably do that just to help, because in the long run, less rust will make it easier to get that out of there. So I have a 12-ton press that I have at Harbor Freight. I bought at Harbor Freight. And, well, once I get this out of here, we'll set up the 12-ton press, and I'll see if I can press it out. But I think that's going to be enough for this video. I don't want to make them too long. 20 minutes to 30 minutes seems like a good spot. All right, until next time.